Late afternoon shrouded the road in darkness, leaving only the headlights of cars that sometimes broke the darkness with their light. Keanu Reeves was on his way home after a long day on set. His favorite old motorcycle rumbled softly on the asphalt, and a cool breeze washed over his face, adding to his peace of mind after a busy day. On one of the narrow country roads, Keanu noticed something that made him stop. A car was parked along the road with its hazard lights on. Next to the car was a man bent over a flat tire. Inside the car, silhouettes were visible. A woman was sitting in the back seat holding a small child, and next to her, a teenager was looking intently at his phone, which appeared to be dead. Keanu stopped his motorcycle and took off his helmet. He was always the type of person who could not pass by a person in need. As he got closer, he saw the man trying to remove the wheel to no avail. His face showed fatigue and concern. "Good evening. Can I help you with something?" Keanu asked calmly. The man looked up and replied with gratitude. "To be honest, I don't know what else to do. We don't have a spare tire, and our phone is already dead. We've tried to get the attention of other drivers, but no one is stopping." Keanu listened carefully. He looked at the car, noticed that the children in it looked tired, and the woman was trying to keep the baby warm by covering him with a jacket. It was a family in a difficult situation. "Don't worry, I'll call a tow truck and wait with you," Keanu said, pulling out his phone. His voice was soothing, and the man relaxed a bit. While they were waiting for the tow truck, Keanu talked to the family. He learned that their names were Jack and Sarah, and their children were Michael and Emma. They were moving to another city because Jack had lost his job. All their savings went to renting a new place, and this breakdown was a real challenge for them. "We thought that nothing worse could happen, but as you can see, we still have problems," Jack said with a bitter smile. Keanu felt a deep sympathy for this family. Their story was full of hardships, but he saw in them the strength and will to fight. He decided that he would go beyond helping them with the car. The tow truck arrived 40 minutes later. While the mechanic worked on replacing the wheel, Keanu stayed with the family. He tried to cheer them up by telling stories from his life. The children's laughter diffused the tense atmosphere, and even Jack and Sarah began to relax a bit. When the work was done and the car was back on the road, Keanu noticed that the family looked tired and hungry. "Let's stop at the nearest cafe. You look like you need to rest and get some food," he suggested. Sarah was hesitant at first, but Jack, seeing that the children looked exhausted, agreed. They stopped at a cozy cafe near the road. While the children ate hot burgers with appetite, Jack and Sarah shared a more detailed story with Keanu. "I worked for a construction company for over a decade, but we were closed down due to the crisis. We lost everything, and moving is our last attempt to start over. But now everything seems so hard," Jack said, trying to hide the disappointment in his voice. Sarah added, "We want our children to have a better life, but every day it seems more and more out of reach." Keanu listened intently. He could see that this family had not given up despite all the difficulties. Their eyes shone with determination and love for each other, and it struck him. He decided to act. After lunch, Keanu asked, "Do you have a destination yet? And do you have a plan for the next few days?" Jack replied that they had booked a cheap hotel, but only had enough money for a few nights. "I have a job interview in 3 days, but even if I get the job, we'll have to wait until my first paycheck to pay the rent." Keanu offered to help. "I know a few people in this city. Let me arrange for you to meet with social services that can provide temporary assistance. In the meantime, I'll cover your hotel and food expenses." Jack and Sarah were amazed. They had not expected such generosity from a stranger. Jack tried to refuse, but Keanu convinced them that he wanted to help. "We all need support sometimes," he said, "and I believe you can get back on your feet. This is just a little push to get you started." After that, they headed to the hotel, and Keanu left his contact number, promising to get back to them the next day. That night, the family felt hopeful for the first time in a long time. The next morning, Keanu Reeves contacted his friends in the city where the family was staying. He knew that the first step in a new life is always the hardest, and he wanted to make sure that Jack and Sarah would get real help. Within a few hours, he was able to arrange a meeting with representatives of a local charity organization that supported families in difficult life situations. That same day, Keanu returned to the hotel to pick up the family for the meeting. Jack looked nervous but hopeful at the same time. Sarah smiled with gratitude when she saw Keanu. He remained not just a stranger to them, but a true friend who supported them in a difficult moment. Emily, the director of the assistance program, met them at the charity organization. She listened carefully to Jack and Sarah's story and then offered several solutions. One of them was the possibility of temporary accommodation in a family center where they could stay until Jack started working. The organization also provided food packages and job counseling. "This is a great start," Jack said as they left the center. "I don't even know how to thank you, Keanu." Keanu replied with a smile, "Don't thank me. I'm just glad you got the chance. All the credit goes to you. You did it on your own. Just a little support never hurts." During the conversation with Emily, Keanu also mentioned the interview that Jack was going to have. She offered to help him prepare, including updating his resume and conducting a mock interview. Jack enthusiastically agreed, as he wanted to make the most of this chance. Meanwhile, Sarah began to inquire about part-time employment opportunities to contribute to the family's stability. Emily promised to help her find jobs that would match her skills and allow her to take care of the children. Keanu spent the rest of the day with the family discussing their plans and next steps. He emphasized that the most important thing was not to lose faith in themselves and to move forward, even if the path seems too difficult. His words inspired them with confidence and determination. In the evening, on the way back to his hotel, Keanu felt satisfied with what he had accomplished. He knew that this day was just the beginning of a long journey for Jack, Sarah, and their children. But he also knew that even a little help can be a powerful impetus for big change. The next few days were a real challenge for Jack's family, but also a big breakthrough. With the help of Emily and her organization, Jack prepared for a crucial interview. The family moved to the family center, where they received cozy temporary housing. The children quickly adapted to the new environment, and little Emma even made friends among the other children in the center. On the day of the interview, Jack looked composed and confident. His resume was improved, and the test questions Emily asked him helped him overcome his fears. Keanu, who stayed in touch, supported him with words, "Just be yourself. You've already proven you can fight for your family." The interview was a success. A few days later, Jack received a job offer from a company that repaired and built homes. It was not only a stable job, but also an opportunity to apply his skills and experience gained over the years in the construction industry. Meanwhile, Sarah found a part-time job at the local library, which allowed her to work at her convenience and stay close to her children. For her, it was not only a source of income, but also a way to feel needed and realize her talents. When Jack received his first paycheck, the family was finally able to rent a small house in the suburbs. It was modest but warm and cozy. It was a real achievement for them. During the housewarming party, Keanu came to share their joy. He brought gifts for the children, books for Michael and a toy for Emma, as well as a set of tools for Jack, so he could start to equip the house. Over dinner, they talked about how far they had come in this short time. Sarah thanked Keanu for what he had done for them, but he just smiled. "All I did was give you a little nudge in the right direction. You did most of the work yourself." This support and fresh start gave the family a sense of stability and confidence in the future. They realized that even in the most difficult times, there is always a way out if you don't lose hope and believe in yourself. Keanu remained for them a symbol of humanity and kindness that can change lives. A year has passed since the night Keanu Reeves helped Jack, Sarah, and their children on the side of the road. Their lives looked very different now. Jack was successfully working for a construction company, earning enough to support his family. Sarah became an indispensable employee of the local library, where she organized activities for children. Michael and Emma attended school and made friends, enjoying the normal childhood they had been denied for so long. On this day, Keanu decided to visit them to see how they were doing. He arrived at their house with a small gift, a wooden set for family games. Jack and Sarah's house was modest but warm, and from the doorstep you could feel the atmosphere of love and comfort. Children's drawings hung on the walls, and a shelf filled with books stood in the corner. The family welcomed Keanu and invited him to dinner. At the table, they shared their successes and thanked him for helping them in their most difficult moment. "If it weren't for you," Jack said, raising a cup of tea, "I don't know where we would be today. You have become our guardian angel." Keanu smiled and replied, "I was just in the right place at the right time. Your strength and perseverance did the rest. You are the real heroes of this story." After dinner, Michael showed Keanu his new project for the school, a model of the city he created out of cardboard and paper. Emma, meanwhile, showed him her drawings of their family, their home, and even Keanu smiling next to them. It touched him to the core. Before he left, Keanu offered them another idea. "If you want, we can organize a charity event together for other families who are going through what you're going through. Your story could be a source of inspiration and support for them." Jack and Sarah eagerly agreed. A few months later, they and Keanu organized an event in their city. Their story of how they rose from the most difficult circumstances touched many people. The family has become a symbol that even in the darkest of times there is light if there is someone to lend a helping hand. Keanu remained a part of their lives, supporting their endeavors and rejoicing in their successes. For him, this story was yet another proof that a small gesture of kindness can change the world. And for Jack, Sarah, Michael, and Emma, this gesture was the beginning of a new, happy chapter in their lives.